Hello, my people. Welcome to today's edition, afternoon session on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing the channel. If you are new to the channel, do what subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. If you aren't an old person, of course, thank you very much. We want to hear from you in the comment section, so do well to drop your comments in there. Of course, in the description below, there are links to the Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube groups, on WhatsApp, elsewhere, where we continue the conversation from here. So you go in there, tap on the link, go there, join the group. Let us hear from you also in the comment section here. Let us know what you think about the things that we are saying here. Of course, if you've not turned on notification, it's imperative that you do so. Turn on notification now, and then of course, so that you are quick to make sure that you get a lot of people, you get a lot of notifications once we drop a video. My name is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Tonight is the Champions League round of 16 Wednesday tie. We'll talk about that, we'll analyze that. There's a bit about Mauricio Pochettino, and then why Ruben Amorim and then Roberto Di Zerbi may not be the better fit to Chelsea. We'll talk about other things, the things that Cole Palmer said about Mauricio Pochettino, and then things that are going on with Chelsea Football Club. So, where do we start from? Champions League or Chelsea or which other news? Where do we start from? But of course, just before we go on, Real Madrid are playing against Leipzig tonight, and Madrid, of course, went away to Leipzig and won the first leg. You can understand how good of a team Madrid are. Again, in the context of everything that Madrid are doing in the Champions League, it's imperative. And I've said this several times. One of the reasons why Madrid are a very, very difficult team to beat in the Champions League is how they play. In recent times, a lot of teams play with a lot of positional play, juego de posición, they call it, positional play, where a lot of players are fixed to set, their actions are relative to the zones that they are in or the positions that they are in. So their inactions are also related to the positions or the zones that they are in, which makes sense, even regardless of the formation that anybody plays. It makes sense that sometimes you play in the juego de posición, and a lot of top teams play in positional play. But what's the opposite of positional play is more of the functional play. And that's exactly what Carlo Ancelotti seeks to do, where he doesn't dwell so much on positional play, but in the effectiveness of what you do in and out of possession. And that's what he does. And one of the reasons why it's difficult for Madrid to lose games in the Champions League, even when they are, they are hit with injuries and they are not with their top players and whatnot, is because of how they play and how they don't necessarily chase games. And you see, the Champions League is so volatile and it's played in a higher technical way, so much so that the least space you leave, you can hurt you, especially if a team has loads of technical players. And that's exactly what Madrid are doing, where they have the likes of Brahim Diaz, they have the likes of Jude Bellingham, and when almost everybody, the senior players, are injured and are out, they spring up to life because they find space at the right time. Rodrigo Goes, Vinicius Jr. You leave space, you're in trouble, especially when Leipzig at home played in a 4-2-2-2, where there was more central congestion with two inside tens, but there was space from out where the Madrid will occupy them with Vinny and then Rodrigo Goes, and then Jude Bellingham will get in behind and attack the spaces in there. It was an excellent game plan for the Madridistas, and they got a job done. Even before we go into the game and what will happen at the Santiago Bernabeu, I have to let you know that Jude Bellingham, he has been, how do I say it? He has been charged, and he's going to miss 2 games for Real Madrid in the La Liga. Of course, because of his actions towards referee Gil when he blew the whistle against the game at the Mestalla against Valencia. So that's it with Real Madrid. We're expecting that Madrid are going to go on with a very good starting 11, get a good opener at home, and then hope that they can go through. Of course, Militao is still active. Couture has returned to training at the Valladolid. There is also Alaba that is still out in there, but then Antonio Rudiger is back today. There's going to be a proper centre back pair between Antonio Rudiger and then Nacho Hernandez. Carvajal and Fola Mendy will make up the back four. Lunin is in post now. Kepa has been out of post for a very long time. It looks as if Lunin has gotten the number 1 spots back. Federico Valverde, Cruz, Camavinga, Bellingham, Rodrigo Goes, and Vinicius Jr. make up the number. And of course, it's a 4-1-2-1-2 in there with Valverde and Camavinga and flanking Toni Kroos as a sitting number 6 in there, whilst Rodrigo Goes are up there. Of course, We expect that Leipzig play in a 4-2-2-2 or 4-4-2, but a more central. We're expecting that Schlager and Haidara will sit in the middle of the park. Dani Olmo and Moses, not Moses Simon, Xavi Simons will flank them inside upper, and then the top two are going to be Benjamin Sesko and Roy Openda up top for them. At the Santiago Bernabeu, barring any unforeseen things, I think that Madrid are in a very good position. They are very solid. You know how to play. They draw you into central areas in the mid block, and the space that you're leaving behind, they attack them with the pace of Vinicius Junior and then Jude Bellingham. And I was discussing a while ago that is Mbappe going to fit this Real Madrid side? And I think so. I think that he's going to be the difference maker. Tactically, it fits seamlessly. Although it's a big challenge, it's going to happen. And he's going to take Madrid from notches higher. Last night, if you watch Kylian return Mbappe and the display against La Real, Real Sociedad in their Sociedad and Anoeta, you can tell how much of the notches that Mbappe is going to go through. He's going to take Madrid through, and the quality, already existing quality in Jude Bellingham and the likes in the team. It tells you that this team has a lot of quality. And the Champions League, of course, they are record champions, record winners, but they are going to make it even more difficult for anybody else that wants to try and win the Champions League to come close to it. And that's the quality of Mbappe. That's the quality of Kylian. That's the quality and how much they've honed in such a player and all the things that he has been doing. So it's great stuff for Mbappe. It's great stuff for Real Madrid. And I think that in the summer, they're going to make a very, very good pair. And it's going to be exciting to see how it goes. As for tonight's match, it is a Madrid winner to qualify. You can also add a Madrid and over 1.5 and a qualification in there for Real Madrid in that big one. Man City also playing at home to FC Copenhagen. I was discussing with somebody about the importance of hybriding a technical in building of a team. There's a hybrid of a technical and then the physical side of the game where teams ought to be more technical and also very physical. So if you look at all the teams across Europe, Real Madrid, especially the top side, Man City, and these are things that used to be done in the past, especially in England, where the likes of Stoke City, Burnley will have some of the big, bulky guys, and they will bully you. They'll be aggressive. They'll win second balls. They'll play with transition and what. Now, the top teams have come to understand that you don't necessarily just need diminutives. You don't necessarily need only players that are have low center of gravity, but there's a mix of the two. And that's why players like Amadou Onana have been very, very important. Look at the Arsenal team, Man City team, Liverpool team. They are big physical specimens. Konate, Virgil van Dijk. You look at the likes of, what's his name? Darwin Nunez up front is tall. You can go into duels. And that's exactly how the game has become. You need that. Man City are playing at home against Copenhagen. They're almost impeccable at home. Is that three centre backs that they play, four centre backs essentially becomes a three. John Stones drops to play a double pivot with Rodri, and then they push up and they stay in the pockets of spaces in the half spaces. So that Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne, and for Foden will make a lot of rotations on the right hand side, especially for Foden and Kevin De Bruyne, and go in between the lines of the outside centre back and then the full back. And then Jeremy Doku will keep the width on the other side. And that's exactly how Man City are going to play tonight. We expect that there will be some goals in there and they will do enough to beat Leipzig and dispatch them going away from there. There is also a game in the UEFA League between Sporting CP and then Braga. If you are a Chelsea fan and then you have been hearing about Ruben Amorim, it is time to watch this game tonight. Don't go away. Watch the game. Watch how his players play. I mean, it may just be one game, but it's the quality of Ruben Amorim and how much it brings to his side. He plays also with a three-back. I'm expecting that St. Just, Osman Diamonde and Rice are going to be the back three. Isaju, Holzman, Brenaka, and Santos will make the midfield four. Then Edwards, Guy Corres, and Gonzalez are going to be there. They're going to play against Gasparini's Atlanta in a three-back with Jim City, Scalvini, Kolasinac, Barkat, Matthias De Roon, Chinko, Pienes, Hattenbauer, Pasalic as an inside 10. Then Ademola Lukman and then Charles De Catalere leading the lines for India. So that's a game I would love. I personally will not miss at all tonight when Sporting CP plays against Atlanta India. Now, we're talking about Mauricio Pochettino and then Chelsea and then their squad building process. And Hopama said this, that he thinks that Pochettino is an excellent manager. I know people will say, oh, it's just the player being the player and saying nice things about the manager. And he talks about how he manages things on and off the field. The fact that he cares so much about the things that you do, even off the field and also on the field as well. and he thinks that it's important. And I think that that's also very, very important in terms of managing the players. These are young players, and it's one of the reasons why I think Pochettino is one of those men. Now, I was saying in the past that next summer, I mean this summer, Chelsea cannot get it wrong in the transfer market. They cannot get it wrong. And if you want to build a team in the line of Arsenal, Man City, and then Liverpool, then you go their way. One of the key things I mentioned earlier is the lack and absence of physical specimens in Chelsea's teams. And if you stay in the middle of the park, look at the middle of the park, look at Caicedo, look at Enzo. These are two midfielders that are short. And sometimes, even if you add Romeo Lavia, there's lack of height. That's why you need a Cesare, I mean, Pochettino calls him Cesare Casadei to add to it, or you add somebody like Amadou Onana. And it's important. And if you look at the Arsenal team, it's a clear-cut representation of the importance of physical specimens and then technical players. Because look at Arsenal's midfield of Odegaard, Rice, of Jorginho at some point in time. But Rice's physicality is very important. Also, there is William Saliba and the Gabriel Magalhaes at the back who are excellent, and also the height of Kai Havertz. It's important to have players that are bulky, tall, dynamic up front, especially in central areas or so, to help in the game. So you're able to go into duels. And I've consistently said that the game, while it's a team game, it's about how individuals win their singular battles across the field of play. If you're able to win your battles, you're able to find ways to win these battles, then obviously you get to the top, you play well, you get then it translates into the team actually playing well. And that's why it's imperative that these three players, I mean, Chelsea do a very good job. And in centre forward, there's a need for a centre forward that's an aggressor, that's a brute, that's a killer in the box. And I think Victor Gyökeres gives you that. I think Victor Osimhen gives you that. I think these two players are, for me, my go-to. I've never been a fan of Ivan Toney with the quality that he brings to teams. But Chelsea cannot get it wrong in the summer in terms of the players that they bring in. Amadou Onana is one of the players that's a go-to in terms of if you want quality in the middle of the park with that physicality, that he's not playing so well, he's not doing extreme stuff, but that physicality that teams like Liverpool have, Konate and Van Dijk, teams like Arsenal have in Rice, Magalhaes, and then of course Saliba, and then also having in Kai Havertz up front with the height, and then look at Man City, Guardiola, Ruben Diaz, Rodri has that physicality as well with him. They've pushed John Stones in there because they want more physicality, more aggression in central areas. Then there is that excellent, near perfect, impeccable physical specimen in Erling Braut Haaland. It's important that in the summer, these are the lines that Chelsea need to go. You add physicality to the team, and usually physical specimens don't really get injured. They seem to be very durable. You get them into your team, then you move on from there, you build. Then after this, wow, when you build a team to that side, where almost anybody at all can come and take it and make things work. Anybody at all can come and take it and make things work in 3 months. Then at the time you can say, okay, I'm sacking the coach and bringing in somebody. And that's why for me, I don't think that it is right for Chelsea to just wake up and sack Mauricio Pochettino. No, you have to do the team building first with him because he's calm, he manages the situation well. Then later, if things don't go on, you let him go in that regard. Of course, so Chelsea's redevelopment of Stamford Bridge has been pushed back 6 years. So this is the thing. The area in which Chelsea is, while Chelsea have tried to, Baghdad Egbali and all of that have tried to get things going, there has been an issue. And it's either Chelsea move out of playing from Stamford Bridge for 6 years and come back later to a redeveloped stadium, or they find a different site outside of where it is in central London to build a new stadium for Chelsea Football Club. And that's a big deal, especially if you look at how worrying it is. And if the likes of Feliciano talk about how they want to make Chelsea a viable business entity, is about getting commercially value for everything that they do, and how much a lot of people want to come and watch Chelsea, but the stadium is just too small for the number of people that want to come in and watch. And that's why the big teams in Europe, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal did it earlier on. They saw the lights early. Liverpool have done some redevelopment around their grounds. Of course, they have Manchester United also. You need this so that you have a lot of number. Man City as well. A lot of people in there to come and watch the game. Then it translates into sales and revenue for you. Then, of course, the club will become more valuable. So it's something that Chelsea are actually looking at in that regard. They want to try and then build a very, very good stadium, either away from Stamford Bridge or where the current Stamford Bridge is, and then get things done in there. So you are looking at a lot of things. Just possibly maybe bringing a new manager in the summer. Ruben Amorim, Roberto Di Zerbi, all of these are names that are important. And I put this together in the point of process of team building. You look at Amorim, you look at Di Zerbi, the excellent managers. But for me, in my opinion, it's going to take them more than a year to also settle in at Chelsea, just like Mauricio Pochettino is going through. And that's why I don't rush to say that person or this person should be done. One of the things that ought to be done is to bring in Bernardo Cueva from Brentford to be part of that set piece department, and then making sure that you don't get next summer wrong in terms of purchases and buys. It's important in there for Chelsea football club. Guys, I will call it a day here. Thank you very much, everybody, for choosing Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. We'd love to hear from you. Until then, bye.